Hi everybody, so I'm going to show you another quick video. The last one was longer because I went through and I showed the process of doing the stocking cap one. I'm going to show you how I do the ribbing for this other stocking cap. So the one that I did the video on just a second ago was for the stocking cap that my mom always made. And that one has got this long stretch of these ribbed back loop stitches here. This one, however, what I did, which is interesting, I got a different pattern that I liked, is you create this ribbing and then you turn it and you crochet into the ribbing. And so what I'm doing is I'm crocheting back loop double crochet in this ribbing. You see it creates this pattern on the side. I got this off of another idea that a person did, and I'm creating this as my own hat. But I'll show you how I do this ribbing. So I'm sitting out on my porch. You can see some of the mess that's here. I haven't been able to clean up because of the winter months, but as it's starting to get into spring, I'll clean it up. What I am going to be showing you is using the same yarn, because I bought this because it was relatively inexpensive at Michael's, the loops and threads. Notice that it says, like the last one I showed you, that it wants you to use an I hook. Now I use a G because, like in knitting, I want this to be a tighter ribbing when I get done with it. So you're going to leave a tail. You're going to create a slip knot like this. Ignore this mess here. Then instead of doing what I did on the other one, which was chain 45, I'm going to chain however many I want the ribbing to be. So let's just say I want it to be 10. So I'm going to do 10. Okay, I'm going to do 11 just because I want to make sure that I have 10 stitches here. So you see I have 11 chains. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start, it's almost exactly like the other one. Actually, it is exactly like the other one. You're going to do just 10 single crochets going back. I was hoping the yarn that I had selected to use made it easier for you to see the stitches, because I hate when I watch crochet tutorials or knitting tutorials and I'm like, where is the stitch that you're going into? That yarn is crazy, or that yarn is too bright, or it's too dark. So hopefully this is allowing you to see as I'm going into these stitches, you can see the stitch itself. I think it'll be okay as we start doing the other way. So now here's where this ribbing is a little different from what I did on my mom's stocking cap. So now I have the height of the ribbing I want. You chain one, and in the very first one, instead of doing what I did on all the others, which was creating the beginning of the ribbing, what I've been doing is I go into the stitch just like a normal crochet stitch, and I do a single crochet. Now I go in and I find and do a single crochet in the back loop, right? And I'm going to go all the way along here doing a single crochet in the back loop. Until I get to the last stitch. And see, I'm going along here. And I have one more to do in a single crochet in the back loop. And then in this last stitch, which is right now kind of a chunk, I am going to do one single crochet. I did not do that in the back loop. The reason I'm doing that is it creates a flatter edge on the top, because when I turn it to do the stitches in the top to create it in the round, it's easier to find where I'm going to go in and do it. But so now you do chain one, and again, just like on both sides, you do a single crochet. Now you do a single crochet in the back loop of each stitch. So hopefully you can see that. See how it's creating the ribbing? It's creating the effect of ribbing. You're going to do this as you go back and forth and back and forth you end up creating the length of the ribbing that you want. And what I do when I'm getting it to a size where I'm like, oh, is that going to fit me? I basically take it and I stretch it around my head to see if it goes all the way around or not. Now see, I'm in the last stitch here again. So instead of doing a back loop, I am going to do one single crochet. Chain one, single crochet, now in the back loop. What I tend to do when I'm making hats is I don't pay any attention to how many repeats it is. I just hold it up on my head, stretch it around like a headband, and I try and see if it's going to fit me. And if it fits me, then I know, then I can stop, and I will stop working on the hat, and then I will close it up on the side, and I will be done. Then I add the pom-pom and whatever else I want to do if I wouldn't do that. So see, now I'm back to the end again, and I'm going to do a single crochet instead of back loop. And see, it's creating kind of a flatter edge. It's because what I'm going to do when I go into the top of this, I want to make sure that I find these single crochet holes, because it makes it a lot easier to go around the top when I am starting to do my crochet in the round. So I do a single crochet. Now I'm going to go back and start doing one single crochet in each of the back loops. Now, I will tell you that sometimes I am impatient and I want to crank out hats, and so I do half double crochet to make them grow faster. But I feel like when I do that, my mom frowns at me from heaven, so I don't do it all the time. I do it now and then, but I will go through and I will do half double crochet when I want to get a hat done really in a big hurry. If I'm trying to make a whole bunch of hats, see how I did the single crochet, chain one, single crochet again. Now in the back loop, see it's not hard on these to see because you can see the back loop there's the front loop and the back loop. And I'm doing this in the back loop because, as you can see, it's creating the ribbing that's going to go around the brim of the hat. So what you're going to do is you're going to do this for as long as you want the ribbing to be. You just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you join this ribbing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do an entire ribbing because that'd take me a long time. I think I'm going to do maybe 2 more passes, and then I'm going to show you how I join it. So I clearly have not done enough to make a hat or even a cuff, but you can see the ribbing here, and this is what the ribbing is going to look like as you keep going, and you're going to make it as long as you want. So you could do this as a cuff. You could also do it as a, you can also make probably just a bunch of headbands out of this if you made it a little bit longer. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join it. So in order to join it, you do a single crochet. Then you're going to do just like you're doing the back loop single crochet, and you're going to join it on the other side. Now see, it's a little hard to see these stitches, and to be honest with you, I don't worry about it too much because I'm trying to just join the hat together. It doesn't really take a lot of careful checking, but so you go into the back loop, and then you find the next spot here, go into it, and you basically slip stitch, okay? And what you're doing is you're joining these sides. Back loop like you're going to crochet in the other side and pull through all loops and slip stitch. Back loop through the yarn with the chain you started, pull through, and you create a slip stitch. And you're going to do this all the way across. And what that's doing is it's creating this little tube. What I basically have created here is a finger tube of some kind, but you're going to go all the way across. And as you're doing this, it closes your hat or your cuff or your whatever, and it makes it look almost like a knitted cuff. I'm not being super careful here, but you can go through and spread out your closing stitches like this until you're done. And there you go. This is now closed into a nice tube. Hopefully that was helpful and informative. Follow me for more.